All right, y'all, different type of video today. We've got another tier list, first tier list I've done since I ranked each NBA team last week. And in this video, we are going to be ranking the best players in the NBA on a tier list. We got 37 of the best players in the sport to rank here today. Now, it is very possible that I left a guy or two off this list that y'all think should have been included. And if that's the case, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'll let you know where I'd rank that player. But before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 2,000 subscriber mark on the channel. Uploading every single day, multiple NBA videos each day. Actually, that's not true for today. This will be the only video today, but that's an exception. But we'd really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. We got 4 tiers. We got top 5, superstar, all-star, and meh. Top 5 is your like super duper star MVP candidate. Elite, best of the best players. And we're going to be ranking this list off of, yes, previous performance, but mostly current performance. How you've played this season, how your team has played matters to a certain extent as well. And so, for example, a guy like Pascal Siakam, I feel like is having a very good year, is probably having an all-star season, but he is certainly not higher than all-star overall, I would say. Not going to use b-ball reference for every single player's stats, but the thing about Siakam that he's doing so well in is he's shooting the ball at an absolutely elite level this season, significantly above his career averages, by far a career high from the three-point line. Although last year he was, to be fair, in Indiana, a 38% three-point shooter, 38.5%, but he's up to 42.5% from the three this season. I feel like he is the best player in Indiana this season, and I mean, I don't think he's like really even all that close to the superstar tier when you look at the best players in the league, but I think he's having an all-star season. Bam Adebayo is a bit of a confusing case. I'll be totally honest. The problem with Bam is that here's the thing about Bam, man, because you look at the numbers, he's actually down this season in a lot of areas. His field goal percentage is way down. He's only 44% from the field this year. Now he's shooting a lot more threes, but he's only 47% from inside the paint as compared to these last, I mean, his entire career over 52%. Last year was the worst of his career before that, but a couple years ago, he's a 56, 57, 58% shooter inside the three-point line. His scoring is down. His efficiency is down. I get that he's a very good defensive player, but he's not like an unbelievable shot blocker. Now, he is a very versatile defensive player, one of the most switchable bigs in basketball. The problem that I have, in all honesty, with Bam Adebayo, though, is the efficiency just hasn't been there offensively. It feels like he's not just hit a ceiling offensively, but like very hard capped offensively. I know he's shooting a three ball better. I'm still putting him in meh. I'll be totally honest. Jalen Brunson is your stereotypical, not stereotypical, but he's your perfect example of a superstar in this league. A guy who is absolutely a superstar caliber player on a very good team, the best player on a contender in the East. And yet, realistically, it is probably hard, in all honesty, to even really consider him towards that top 5. I don't think he's there, but he's certainly also a level above all-star. Having another great year in New York. His efficiency is off the charts. Elite player, 100% a superstar. Gilgeous-Alexander is a top 5 player in the sport. I understand the NBA Cup struggles. I don't care. He's having himself another incredible year, maybe the best year of his career overall. His shooting as of late has been a little bit rough compared to how he started the season, but it just doesn't matter enough for Shea. He's one of the best players in the sport. You can't take too much away from just because their three-ball shooting has gone down back towards career averages, but he's so efficient inside the paint, such a good, high-level, versatile player. He's a top 5 player in the sport. Trae Young, the shooting efficiency and the lack of defensive ability kills him as a player. Now, I understand his defensive effort has been way up this year. I'll give him credit on that end. He does seem to play better when the lights are brightest, but the efficiency isn't good enough. And realistically, right now, he's got to be in that meh tier. LaMelo Ball, the way he was playing prior to his injury, he's a superstar, but overall, it just hasn't been sustained long enough. I'm going all-star caliber for LaMelo. He only played 1 game since returning from injury, but it was a very bad game. Now it'll take him a little bit to get back into swing of things. He's still averaging 35 and 7. Anybody else averaging 35 and 7 this season would be a superstar. LaMelo, I just need to see it sustained for a little bit longer. I'd love to see some more health, and I'd love to see it contribute a little bit more to winning basketball, even on a questionable Hornets team. It could be better. Still giving him all-star for sure. Don't think I'm quite giving him that superstar tier 4 right now, though. Halliburton has had a very mediocre season. His efficiency has still been way down. He did have a really good game against the Sixers last week. He's had a couple of bigger games as of late, but he's a no-brainer to me and in the lowest tier on this list for sure. I think that one's a pretty easy choice. Scotty Barnes. Scotty Barnes isn't having an all-star season. He's having a very good year, but he admittedly has had some injury issues already. The Raptors are really, really bad, and that does matter. and he's averaging 28 and 7. I mean, I love it, but I don't love the efficiency. That's the one thing that I will criticize with Scottie Barnes is he's not an uber efficient player. He's never been a great 3-point shooter, and he's shooting the most he has in his career. It's 31%. Not great there. A good player for sure. Everybody on this player's list is a good player. I think he's meh. Is Şengün having an all-star season? And Şengün is one of those guys. Here's the problem with the Rockets. It's something I've talked about recently in a couple of videos, is that the Rockets don't have a number one, like a 1A option. Şengün is the one Rocket that I did include on this list, but there's a few others that I could discuss as well. And I think he's not a superstar, right? He's averaging 18, 6, 10, and 5, but the 3-point efficiency is so bad. And then similar to Bam, 2-point efficiency way down compared to his career averages this season as well. I think he's a little bit I think he's an underrated playmaker. I will say that. And honestly, I think he's a little underrated defensively as well. But the efficiency isn't where it needs to be right now. I know I've got a lot of players in May right now, but I think we've gone through a lot of the worst players on this list to this point. Interesting how it's lined up because these are basically randomized. But yeah, I think he's got to go May right now. Chet Holmgren was having an all-star season, 100%. I don't care that he's only played, 5, 6 games, however many it was before he got hurt. He was having an all-star season. His defense is absolutely elite. He is a legitimate threat as a stretch big. Shot about 38% from 3 last year. He's back to it this season as well. I get that he's out for a while. I don't care. I think he's an all-star caliber player, and he is a big piece of what OKC plans to do if they want to contend for and try to win an NBA championship. That's an all-star caliber player, in my opinion, and I'm not changing my opinions on that. Defensively, especially. I mean, he's just so good. Anthony Davis is a superstar. He is not a top 5 player in the league, in my opinion. I think he is very close, but I don't think he's quite there. He is 100% without a doubt a superstar, though. One of the best 2-way players in the sport. Guy you can run offense through. Guy who's incredibly reliable defensively. Elite level player. Jokic is the best player in the world and honestly should maybe even have his own tier. He is having one of the greatest individual seasons we've ever seen in the history of the sport. Truly an unbelievably remarkable offensive player and a capable defensive player as well. He is an absolutely incredible player. The best player in the sport. That one is a no-brainer. Jimmy Butler started off the season really, really rough, but I will say as of late, he has played much better. He had, a 35.19 rebound, 10 assist monster game earlier this week. He's still only averaging 19, 6, and 5, but the efficiency has gone way up. He's 55% from the field, which is really good. His finishing has been elite this season. And he's playing, I do think, much better as of late. I still think realistically, I think he's an all-star caliber player. And understand that a couple guys lower down here have a little bit better numbers, but I'm giving Jimmy that edge. I think maybe it's just a bias because of history and experience, but experience proves that Jimmy Butler is one of those guys, and I just think he's playing at all-star level. I really do. Kyrie Irving, I would have him a tier above Tyrese Halliburton and Trae Young right now, which is where we're comparing him to as the other guards. And I think he's having an all-star season. I do. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like Kyrie is the best guard in the league or anything like that. I'm a little biased because I'm a Mavs fan, of course, but he's 50, 46, 88. Like 50, 47, 88 is ridiculous on 24, 5, and 5. Like, unbelievable efficiency for a small guard. He's just does everything well. He's even a feisty defender. Like, he's an all-star, 100%. And Damian Lillard is too. Dame has had such a great bounce back year so far. Really, really been impressed by Dame's playmaking this year. His passing has been elite. And the efficiency, I mean, the 3-point efficiency wasn't great to start the year, but it has gone back up. 45, 37, 91.5 is certainly nothing to scoff at. I think he's having an all-star year as well. Really, really good player on a very, very good team. Giannis is, of course, the top 5 player in the league. Don't think that one is debatable at all. Kind of a no-brainer there. He is probably the second best player in the world after Jokic right now, having a MVP caliber season, especially recently. The last month and a half or so has just been absolutely dominant. Vintage Giannis stuff. He's incredible. Joel Embiid. I almost don't want to rank him because of the injury issues. I'm still going to put him in superstar, but he hasn't played enough or well enough this season to really deserve that. I am giving him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know if Embiid deserves the benefit of the doubt with all the injury issues he has had, but I am going to put him in superstar, and I am certainly not going to put him in top 5. But he almost deserves to not even be ranked, to be totally honest, with all the disastrous stuff that's happened. And I mean, Kawhi Leonard's not on this list for a similar reason. The guy who, when healthy, is probably a superstar, but is never healthy. So there you go. Jamal Murray, got to be better, plain and simple. Nuggets are probably regretting giving him the extension that they gave him right now, to be totally honest. He has had not a great year. Now, he did have a very good game down the stretch against the Kings a couple nights ago. Scored 15 in the fourth quarter on elite efficiency, but for the season, the efficiency's all down across the board. He's just having kind of a career worst year in a lot of ways, at least with the amount of responsibility that he has and the amount that he is being paid. Would like to see him finish at a higher level. Would like to see him shoot the 3-ball at a higher level. In general, just play better. I think he's in meh for sure. Donovan Mitchell's a superstar, 100%. Incredible player. One of the best guards in the East. And the Cavs are absolutely rolling. And I think Donovan Mitchell's a huge part of that. He is 100% a superstar caliber player. I have no issues with that one whatsoever. Luka Doncic, top 5 player in the world, 100%. I'm not biased on this one. I love Luka. Y'all know I love Luka. But this one's a no-brainer. He is a top 5 player in the world right now. I think he's a top 3 player in the world. In my opinion, the top 3 is pretty clear. I think it is Jokic, Giannis, and Luka, probably in that order. And Luka is having another amazing year, especially since returning with the wrist injury. I mean, he just put up 45, 11, and 11 on unbelievable efficiency. Like, he's doing special things that there are only a couple more players in the league that are even capable of doing. And really, there's only one other. Like, in terms of offensive skill in this league and offensive ability to do everything, it's Jokic and Luka, and then everybody else. And it's a pretty big gap. Like, he is that good of a player offensively. Kevin Durant, wish he could stay healthy, but he's an absolute superstar still when he's healthy. He has the Suns rolling. The Suns have been so much better with KD healthy than not this year. It is insane. And they desperately need him if they want to contend in the West. He's getting older, but he's still a superstar, 100%. No-brainer superstar choice there. Tyrese Maxey, I need you to shoot the 3-ball better. You're in the same boat as the other Tyrese and as Trae Young and Jamal Murray. Like, these are all these guards who are kind of underwhelming. Tyrese Maxey, efficiency has been way down this season. 31.7% from 3 is just not going to cut it. 41% from the field, also not going to cut it. The 2-point efficiency is down. The 3-point efficiency is down. It has become very clear that he is, while a very talented player, 100% a number 2 option more than anything else. And definitely a no-brainer. Like, I think he's not really a super-duper star. Could he be argued as an all-star just because of the points per game? Maybe. But the efficiency matters a lot to me. He has not proven quite what I wanted to see out of him this season. I think meh is probably the fairest spot to put him. Anthony Edwards is absolutely a superstar. I do not believe he is a top 5 player yet. Does he have the potential to get there? Absolutely. He is shooting the 3-ball the best he ever has in his career and doing it at a ridiculously high level. He is having an awesome year and he's a great 2-way player. He is the guy who I would consider probably for this top 5 if it wasn't for the guy that I'm going to put there. But he's an amazing player and I think he's 100% a superstar. Franz Wagner, shout out to him. Injury was really unfortunate, but he was having an all-star season, 100%. The 3-point shooting efficiency could still be a little bit better, but his ability to be a number 1 option on this team the way that he was able to for as long as he could was very impressive. I think he's a really good player, and I think he has really had the magic rolling despite not having Paulo, having multiple great performances and doing it on both ends of the court. Franz Wagner, really good player. Wemby, also an all-star. I don't think he's quite a superstar yet. Now, he's not far off defensively. He's still the best defensive player in the league. And offensively, he's having a ridiculous year as well, especially shooting the 3-ball after the first couple weeks of the season. And he's shooting 60% from 2-point range. Like, he's unbelievably efficient inside. He spaces the floor like nobody at his size we've ever seen. And he does it all while being the best defensive player in the league. You could seriously make a superstar argument for him already. You know what? He's better than everybody in this all-star tier. I don't care. I'm putting him a superstar. That may seem like a reach. He is that good defensively and already so great offensively as well. He is a superstar. Steph Curry is still a superstar. He is not quite the player that he once was. He's not going to win any more MVPs or anything like that, but that does not mean that he is not still an incredibly valuable, incredibly good player who is key to the Warriors being one of the better teams in the West, still 100% a superstar, having another great season. Jason Tatum. I'm not the biggest Tatum fan personally, but I can't lie to you and say his impact hasn't been impressive. He is the last guy that is going in this top 5 tier. Jason Tatum is one of the better 2-way players in the sport. I think he's a little overrated defensively at times. I think the offensive efficiency has never been quite as great as people would like to give him credit for, but you can't argue with a guy who's averaging 30 a game, capable playmaker, good defender, on the best team in basketball. He is a very, very valuable piece, and while I still think they would be one of the best teams in basketball without him, you can't argue with 28, 9, and 5 on pretty solid efficiency. Having a good year, having a great year in all honesty. I think he's probably pretty clearly the 5th guy in this top 5, but he's still having a great year. Cade Cunningham is almost superstar level to me. That may sound like a little bit of a reach to y'all. He's shooting almost 40% from 3 as a 6'6" point guard who can kind of guard 1 through 4. And attacks the rim at a very high level and has become a very good rim finisher as well. Cade Cunningham has evolved into, I think, the best version of what people thought he could be and is really turning into a star level player. And I think he is not far away from the superstar tier. I think if we do this video next season, there's a very good chance Cade Cunningham is in that superstar tier, having a absolutely awesome year. No-brainer all-star. Another no-brainer all-star, De'Aaron Fox. He has had some really big performances this year, had 60 early in the year, one of the best clutch players in the league. He is a very underappreciated star in this league, I feel like. People do not talk about De'Aaron Fox the way that they should. Guys averaging 25, 5, and 6 are not all that common. I understand the three-point efficiency has never been great and likely never really will be, but he is still an all-star caliber point guard, 100%. Domantas Sabonis, averaging a double-double, but I feel like maybe not quite. He's like an unimpressive Jokic, if that makes sense. That's a very unfair thing to say. He's uber efficient, and he averages 21, 13, and 6. But he does it in such like a quiet way that nobody really ever talks about him. He's having a better year than he has the last couple of years, though, and he was an all-star 2 years ago, and probably should have been one last year, to be honest. So it's really hard to argue with the dude shooting 67% from inside the two-point line, 21 points, 13 rebounds. I'm sorry. He is an all-star, 100%. Let me stop disrespecting Domantas Sabonis. Jalen Williams. J-Dub is having a great year. He's really become a great defensive player, and his shooting ability has improved this year as well. I think Chet being out has helped, but he's averaging 21, 6, and 5 on 50, 38, 81, 56% effective field goal percentage. He's having a really good year. You can't really argue with it. I think he's on that borderline of all-star, and meh. I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's having a good enough year to deserve to be in that all-star tier. Karl-Anthony Towns is also an all-star. He's not a superstar, but he is shooting the three ball at a super high level, really crazy high level, and he's rebounding the ball best he ever has, pretty much, especially since his first couple of years in Minnesota. Really has embraced New York, and New York seems to have embraced him. Karl-Anthony Towns has been awesome and is 100% another all-star. LeBron James, LeBron Raymond, man, he may be 40 years old, but he's still doing it. He's still a superstar caliber player. I understand the defense is a struggle on most nights, and really just pretty much all the time, except for the most important possessions and most important moments, in which case he can lock in defensively, still make plays, still get you stops. But overall, the offense is still there. He's shooting the three ball amazingly well. I mean, he's just so good. It is we've never seen a player like LeBron, and we may never see a player like LeBron again. Enjoy him while he's still around. Definitely a superstar. Devin Booker, another superstar caliber guard, but I will say he is this season not been a true superstar in my opinion. Might be a little bit of a hot take. 43-35 is not amazing. He's averaging 25, 4, and 6. This is probably going to be one of the most controversial takes on this list, but I don't think he's been quite as good this year as he has been the last couple of years. Efficiency is a little bit down, both from three and finishing on the interior. The Suns have struggled mightily without Kevin Durant. D-Book has just not been enough to really push them over that edge, and this might be a little bit of a bold take, but I'm putting him in all-star. Another very bold take. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I'm strongly considering putting John Morant in meh. I think the Grizzlies are winning not because of John Morant, to be totally honest. That might be another one of those kind of bold takes. But he is 45%, 31.5% from three. Like, he's a little bit overrated in terms of rim efficiency. I know his rim pressure is very impressive, and it creates other shots for his teammates. 8.5 assists a game. Now, the turnovers are too high for how many assists he's averaging, like about a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, which isn't ideal. But look, Ja is an amazing player, but you can't lie and say the scoring's not down a bit. The efficiency's not down a bit, especially at the rim. He's on a very good team, but I think he's on a very good team that would be good without him. This is the hottest take of the video if I put John Morant in meh. But I can't do it. He's an all-star. I can't do it. John Morant's too good for that. People would be pissed at me if I put him in all. I'm so tempted. But I know the numbers aren't amazing. You can't take away from John Morant, man. He is having himself a great year. And then finally, the last two guys on this list, Jaylen Brown is another all-star caliber player for sure. He has borderline superstar argument as well. But if I'm putting Devin Booker in all-star, I think I kind of got to put Jaylen Brown in all-star as well. I mean, 23, 6, and 4.5, 44, 34. Efficiency-wise, again, playing on the best team in the league. It could be better. It's not quite where it was last year. You know what I'm saying? The scoring is actually a little bit up, but overall the efficiency is a little bit down. Not shooting the three quite as well, not shooting the two nearly as well. I think he's an all-star. I think his season's just been a little bit underwhelming. And honestly, Paolo Banchero, the last player on this list, I think I'm going superstar for Paolo. I understand that it was a small sample size with P5 before he got hurt, but 29, 9, and 5.5 on really solid efficiency. Come on, y'all. He was taking a superstar jump 100%. And it's the type of thing where I think it's sustainable as well. He's the closest player to LeBron we have in the league right now. And it may feel like a bold take to put Paolo Banchero in superstar and put guys like John Morant almost in meh. Guys like Devin Booker and Jaylen Brown in all-star. but it feels like the right list. This is my opinion, and I'm probably going to piss some people off, but I'm just sharing my opinion on the players in this league right now and the way they're playing this season. So with that being said, that's going to do it for this video. I know it's a little longer than normal. I hope y'all did enjoy. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of my video, good and bad, what you thought of the list. And if you did enjoy, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more NBA content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.